What in the world is going on with this phone and this internet and stuff? There it is. There it is. Oh, I think something is messing up. Happy Friday, y'all. I don't know what's going on with this internet. So I got on today. Let me go ahead and get this out the way because I will be taking the Let's Heal podcast back to audio. So then that way people can actually go and visit the Let's Heal podcast. Because then that way I can do it anywhere. They don't have to drag all this equipment everywhere. As y'all see today, it's just me, my ring light, my computer, my cell phone, and just me and you, because this is 100% of you. I chose the title 100% of you because I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they asked me, or they were talking about relationships, and we were talking about their interaction with people and the people's interaction with them, and why things are the way that they are, and why they can't seem to find consistency. And I think that that's kind of relevant and common across the board when it comes to dating or trying to get to know somebody or spending time with somebody or something like that. A lot of it is, I always tell people that there's 100% of you, like you have 100% of yourself, and there are five major parts in everybody's life that we have in common. And those five things are, according to me, these are all my opinions. Y'all feel how y'all want to feel about it. And please comment, comment, ask me questions and things like that. I need to share the link. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna share the link, but I want to see your comments. But the five parts that I usually talk to people about are uh work/school. So that's all one part, work or school. And then there's family time, then there's friends, and then there's me time, and then there is a relationship or potential partner, whoever you're dating, whatever the case may be. That we all split 100% of ourselves between. And if we all get the same 100% of ourselves and we're splitting it differently or putting certain percentages into certain areas, and we meet somebody, let's say that somebody is putting, because most of us are working or in school or something like that, so majority of us is going, majority of that 100% is going into work or school. So let's say 45 to 50%, 50% of you is going into school or work or whatever the case may be, because a lot of people are working anywhere between 3 and 5 days, 40 plus hours a week. So that's a lot of time. So that's like 50% of yourself, that you are given to work or school. And then you split up the rest of that into family time. If you have a family, whether it's your own family or like, your immediate family, things like that. So let's say another 15%. That's 15% right there. So 15 and 50, that's 65. So you only got 35% left. So where you gonna put that 35%? And you got three more categories to split that 35% between. Already right there, you cannot split equal parts into each five or each of those three parts. You got 35% left. And then, a lot of people are talking about friends and traveling now that the world is opening back up. People are spending time with their friends and they're going places and pictures are popping up all over the place. So, I see people doing that. So there we have another, let's say 10%, to friends. So that's 75% right there, and you only got 25% left, and you got two more parts. And now you 12 and a half and 12 and a half, you're not going to split it like that between your me time and your relationship or the person you are potentially dating. So we're going to give, if you are a single person, you still need that me time, because I hear a lot of that too from a lot of people. I need my me time, and my me time is important. My me time is important. So you only got 25% left. So let's say you give that me time 20%. That leaves 5% for somebody that you could potentially be dating or trying to get to know. Now, is that fair to that person? Absolutely not, because who do you expect to be around or stick around through 5% of you? If you're only giving this person 5% conversation or text messaging, because, recently I've been, trying to kind of feel my way around the whole dating scene or situation. And one of my pet peeves when it comes to that is that people feel like, oh, we text, I text you good morning, or I text you good night, or I send you a message through Facebook. That's not dating. That's not getting to know somebody. That's not showing an interest, because I text clients all the time. I talk to clients through Facebook all the time, but that doesn't mean that I'm romantically interested in them or trying to get to know them. And even when it comes to clients, I can't build my brand, the Let's Heal brand, if all I'm doing is texting my clients, tell me what's going on with you through text. Really? How does that work? That doesn't work. So when you're giving somebody 5%, um, and you're willing to give 25% of that, situation, or of the 100% of yourself to getting to know somebody, and all they have to offer you is 5%, it's never going to work. Exactly. It doesn't work. Anthony King said it doesn't work. You're right. It does not work, because if you're given 25% and the other person is given 5%, you cannot build anything off of that. And it's impossible to do that. So we have to figure out who is giving close to the percentage of the 100% of themselves as you are, in order to build that relationship. A lot of times people want you to wait for them or be patient with them or just deal with the fact that, oh, this is just me. Like, that is one of my cringy words, my cringy conversations, where people say, oh, it's just me. And I'm like, hey, that's something that you've created in your mind to believe, because as far as I'm concerned, and the things that I believe, is nothing is constant but change. And you're going to change. I'm going to change. This situation is going to change, and it's supposed to change. So if the situation does not change, or you're not willing to change with that situation, how do you expect to have anything successful? If you're devoting most of your time to work, then so be it. You surround yourself, or you let that be known. And that's another thing that people, suffer from when it becomes 100% of you. You don't know how to communicate your percentages. So it's a lot of times you expect somebody to come into your life and know that, yeah, I got 100% of me. And perception, love it. Yeah. Yeah, please definitely share it, because I feel like, a lot of people don't know how, like I said, to communicate their percentages, and they expect people to come into their life and just see what's going on. Like, if you see somebody who has really strong drive, or is really focused on something, whether it's work or career or building a business or something like that, and you see that already, you can't expect them to stop that because you show up. You know what I'm saying? If they're willing to sacrifice their time or majority of their 100% of their self to the success of their business or their career or their education or whatever the case may be, and your focus is more on a relationship or your me time, things like that, it's not going to work. It'll never work. And that's what I was telling my friend who I was talking to, because he was like, I meet great guys. And I'm like, just because somebody's great does not mean that their percentage of input into relationship is the same as yours. That's not what that means. And if you don't communicate those things amongst each other so that you two get an agreement or an understanding of where the situation is that works for both of you, it will never work. It will never work. I don't care how much you stand by this person. I don't care how much you understand, because when you say, oh, I understand, blah, 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 to me, it sounds like excuses. So you're excusing somebody for treating you wrong. That still don't make sense. Instead of allowing this person to be themselves and understanding your stance in the situation. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is constant but change. Just because things are not right now, or the percentages don't line up, don't mean that, let's say 6 months from now, that your percentages won't add up. But that's where the communication, the understanding, the ability to hear where somebody's percentages is not there. Like, the communication altogether is missing at this point, because I feel like a lot of people are so set in their ways. And I am all about self-help and self-awareness and selflessness, but you have a lot of people who are selfish. So being selfish and selfless is two completely different things. And there's a lot of people who are saying, I'm ready for something or somebody to come into my life. And this, they're just going to have to understand that blah, 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 blah. I got this going on. I got that going on. That's selfish. That's extremely selfish. That's extremely selfish, and it's extremely disrespectful. I've talked about in previous podcasts how my only expectation in getting to know somebody or meeting somebody is respect. Because what is that we hear, based on perception? Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. People want to hear, the right things that works for them. They don't want to hear somebody else's truth, because if it works for me that you're available right now and you have a lot of free time. Now, me personally, I can't be with somebody who ain't got something to do. So if you sitting around the house and you ain't got nothing to do but spend time sitting right next to me on the couch, I'm not even I don't have my backdrop. You saying nothing but couch and relaxation today, because this is just me. But these are the times where you actually, it's cold here in Atlanta, it's raining, and this is the time that you actually want to have somebody here. But even if somebody was here right now, this is what I'm doing right now. So I don't need somebody who's attached to my hip while I'm trying to do my, my thing right here, and they ain't got nothing else to do. It's, gosh, like you said, the perception of and what people want to have going on in their own mind. They refuse to see outside of themselves and understand that you are one part of a situation, no matter how many people in your situation. Because I'm not discrediting or talking bad or disagreeing with the open relationships or the polyamorous relationships. That's a whole nother topic that I'm not going to even get into right now. But I'm talking about two people right now who are trying to split 100% of themselves with each other. You have to understand what you can give and what you can offer to a situation. Right, Lord, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. And it's crazy because that's 2021. And so, yeah, I'm talking about two people, no matter who it is. But you have to understand your own percentages in order to be able to communicate openly and honestly when you do meet somebody. Hey, this is where I am as far as percentage goes. Now, as far as like knowing what you have to offer to that situation when that situation arises, that's also another conversation. Because once you figure out where your percentages is, you have to understand who you are in each of those categories. Because there's a lot of people who are just giving, and then let's say by the end of the week you're so burned out that you can't do nothing but sleep. or you can't do anything but rest because you spent 70% of your time working and making sure that work is good. Like when I leave work, and that's what I told, my boss yesterday, when I walk out the door, I don't care about nothing that's going on here. Don't call me. I just don't care. I got other stuff to worry about. So I'm devoting the designated time that I need to at work. I'm devoted, my me time. I enjoy working out. So my me time is that, which is why, when I meet people, mental health and physical health is extremely important for me to be with somebody to understand that this is what is important to me. I'm not saying that it has to be important to you, but I don't want you to disturb it because it's important to me while I support you through what's important to you. And that's where the compromise comes in at. So, I was talking to him, and he comes from the old school Southern background where he's mimicking or trying to mimic his parents. And I told him, I said, nothing is constant but change. You have heard me say this many times. You will hear me say it many more times, because what people don't understand, or they're failing to understand and realize, is nothing but change is constant. People are going to change. Situations are going to change. Times are going to change. We are in 2021. We are not in 1945 where people courted each other. Even courtship is different. Spending time and making things important or prioritizing your life is different. And a lot of that is because the government is different. The money's different. The survival's different. There's a lot of things that are different. And if you're the kind of person who is still stuck in that old way, and you have you struggle with change, you will never find any kind of happiness in the life that you are currently living until you learn how to change. I'm not saying change for the bad, but change can definitely be good. I'm not saying that change is going to be easy, because there's definitely a difference with that too. When it comes to shifting your percentages, because even that's going to change. You're going to shift certain percentages, and you should. Like, if most of your time right now is spent with your friends, when you get with somebody, that's going to shift. You're going to have to take a little bit of that percentage from your friendships and pour it into your relationship. And it may even shift back later on in your relationship, but you have to be willing to shift those percentages in order to figure out what your own peace and happiness is. And when you find somebody, what y'all peace and happiness is. Because when you meet somebody and I'm not saying that you run and jump into a relationship, been there, done that, don't recommend it. Get to know each other, allow yourself to get to know each other, but be consistent, be open, be honest, and understand that you don't owe each other anything except for respect. That whole, you treat people how you want to be treated. I definitely believe in that, but I also believe in treat people how they deserve to be treated. Because you can't allow somebody to come into your life and give you 5%, and you're continuing to give your 25%, and you're still sticking there. Because if somebody is giving you 5% and you're sticking there, do they really deserve your 25%? No. Treat them how they deserve to be treated. People are only going to be the way that you allowed them to be towards you. And when you accept that, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself for the situation fucking up. That's it. So yeah, that's the 100% of you, because as a task, I will have everybody who is watching or who's sharing the video to go and write down 5 categories, like I said before: work or school, family, friends, me time, and relationship. And you will be surprised the realization that you have with yourself when you write down those 5 categories, and then you put yourself at the top. You only have 100% of yourself. Now divide that time accurately, or as accurate as possible, between those 5 categories. And that will make you realize why certain things are going certain ways, or why your friendships are the way that they are. You also can't give 5% to a friendship and expect them to give 30% to you all the time. My friends are never there, but are you there for them? Oh, my family's never there. Are you giving your family? Because a lot of times people will, you know, as they get older, they break away from their family in the tradition, and they start giving their family the 3 to 5%, and they only go home during the holidays. You don't call and check up on nobody, or or on the flip side, you give your family the 30%, and then you, let's say you meet somebody and you're still giving them 5%. So eventually you want this person to become a part of your immediate family, but you're only giving them 5%, and you don't know how to shift that percentage until you can combine the two, because you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have family, that person that you are dating or getting to know, which usually is one of the categories, usually kind of comes together with the other category, because they immediately become your family. So figure out your 100% of you. That is a task that I have for everybody to try. Attempt that. Figure it out, understand it, pay attention to it, notice when it needs to shift, notice when it has shift, you know. And not only on your side, you also have to understand what you've been receiving too, you know, because a lot of people have family who also is only giving 5% but expecting a whole lot, and that's not fair to you. So yeah, 100% of you. I wasn't gonna get on here and be on here long. I wasn't even supposed to be on here this long, but that's 100% of you. Please share this video, because I would love to see or hear, you know, post your percentages down at the bottom. You know, that's what I want you to do. Take 100% of yourself, and then take the 5 categories and put the percentages in each category for you on the bottom of this video. I would love to see some of you all's percentages, and I will do the same. You know, it's almost like when you do the 5 love languages where you get a certain percent to everything and it all adds up to 100% of you. Do that. I would love to see that. I would love to see it. So what else while I'm on here? So like I said before, I'm going to be doing more podcasts, more audio podcasts. The visual, I enjoy doing visual. I enjoy these things, but it's so much. You got to have the light right, and you got to have your computer, and you have to. It's just so much. It's a whole production, and I'm not that person. Like, I don't mind talking on a podcast. I don't mind speaking, but the whole production thing. Even before this year, when everybody's like, "Oh, I want to see more podcasts on Facebook Live," I'm not a production person. I hate this whole production thing. You know, I'll just say I hate setting it up. I ain't gonna say I hate doing it, because I don't want anybody to think that oh yeah, give the categories again. So the categories are work or school. So that's one category. And then you have your family. And then you have your friends. Then you have your me time. And then if you have a potential person that you are dating, or even the thought of creating a potential, it's like the dating aspect of things. So those are the 5 categories. And just break those 5 categories down, write them down, look at them, understand them, because I did it. You know, I understand what percentage and, you know, things like that are in my categories. You know, I have friends, but I didn't grow up with I grew up with a really big family. So my percentage for friends is smaller than a lot of people, because I don't need a bunch of friends. I grew up with cousins. So all of my friends were my cousins. And even to this day, me and my cousins, we all still get along. We all call and check on each other. Yes, I have some really best friends. You know, a lot of people who I call friends, we've been friends, gosh, since I was like 14 or 15. And then I met one of my best friends when I was 22, and just went into college. And another one of my best friends, I met him when I was 15, and I'll be 40 this year. So that's a long time. You know, those are the kind of friendships that I say that I have, that I cherish. You know, these days people throw that word friendship around so much, and they don't allow themselves to even get to know their friends. And then they wonder why their friends are, you know, bad mouthing them, or throwing them under the bus, or talking bad about them, or doing anything negative to them. And you are disappointed because you call this person a friend. You can't give somebody a permanent position if they're temporarily supposed to be in your life. That's a whole nother time. Nope, I ain't going into that either. I'm not doing that either because I almost went there. That's a whole nother thing. Y'all gonna have me preaching tonight, and I ain't gonna do it. Not tonight. So yeah. Um Next month, in November, I will definitely be going live, or I'm going to attempt to go live on November 18th when I have Black women entrepreneurs on, because we're doing an appreciation for people and positivity and achievement and things like that. And I feel like it's important for me, even though my platform is here and it's not, celebrity status, I still get people to watch. And I want to share the people who are positive, the Black women entrepreneur who are positive influences that I've interacted with, that I've crossed paths with, that have, been there for some time in an effort to, grow the positivity all the way across the board. So I, I plan on doing some things like that. I would love to find some Black male entrepreneurs that I want to include for my Black Male Entrepreneur Day. And of course, I'll be reaching out to some people. I've been reaching out to other people. And of course, there will be more topics. There will be more things to talk about. I won't be doing a whole lot of these lives, but I will be doing a lot more pop-ups and a lot more promo videos and a lot of like 5 things, giving some tips and some tricks and things like that that you can apply to your life on this journey of self-awareness. Oh, and the Let's Heal workbook is finally finished. I'll finish that today. I've had to revise and go back and change some things. It's finally finished. I'm going to print it tomorrow so that I can actually look at it in print, and then it will be available. I still have not forgotten the people who said that they wanted a copy of it. I will be mailing those copies out probably early next week. So other than that, y'all know me. Drink your water and mind your own bald-headed business. Until next time, I'm Tyrell. This is the Let's Heal podcast, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. Woo.